नाही 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 येत शोकेस टीव्हीच्या खालच्या ड्रॉवर मध्ये बघ. हा होईल होईल.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Kacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshakarine
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे मूकं करोति वाचालं अंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is chapter 2, text number 63. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमा स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. Read translation.
From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool.
Yes. Anger means he is carried away by the modes so much that he doesn't have control over himself. And thus he becomes illusioned. And when you are illusioned, then you think in illusory terms. That means your memory is not at all functioning properly. And when inputs of memory are not functionally available, the intelligence is lost. And then he performs the activity which binds him more into the material world. So, like sometimes we hear or see that in due to uncontrolled anger he did something wrong. But what happens in between doing wrong and uncontrolled anger? They are described here. When one becomes uncontrollably angry, then he becomes illusioned, which leads to bewilderment of memory, and thus intelligence is not functioning, and then he does wrong action. So, to figure out these three steps, like after anger, illusion, and from illusion, memory is bewildered and the intelligence is lost. To figure out three steps requires more of sharpness to see the phenomena of how an angry person does the wrong action. So it is a common observation that an angry person does the action. And between that anger and wrong action, these are the three steps which happens within his body. That he becomes very much illusioned and memory is bewildered and intelligence is lost. Just like sometimes someone is angry, and in the anger, he may slap his little child for no mistake. That means his intelligence is lost. And intelligence is lost means he is not getting right inputs from his memory. This is a small child, doesn't require that much punishment, and that too he doesn't have any mistake. Why we should punish him? So all these inputs don't come to his mind. So memory is bewildered, and he just lives in complete illusion that to slap my child is a solution, something like that. So in this way, these three steps occur between any anger and a wrong action: illusion, bewilderment of memory, and loss of intelligence. Read further.
Sri Rupa Goswami has given us this direction.
प्रापंचिकतया बुद्ध्या हरिसंबंधी वस्तुना मुमुक्षुभिः परित्यागो वैराग्यम फल्गु कथ्यते.
By development of Krishna consciousness, one can know that everything has its use in the service of the Lord.
Wait. Yes, everything has its use in the service of the Lord, provided we are Krishna conscious. If we are not that much Krishna conscious, we should be avoiding those things which are not easy to use in Krishna service. For example, to use for example, to use anger in Krishna service is not so easy. We will be easily get carried away. We will we will take it on our own personally. So such things which are difficult should be used with proper check or should be avoided. Another example could be to use it depends upon how much weakness one has. For example, someone has weakness in handling smartphone. So for him to use smartphone in Krishna service is difficult. He will misuse smartphone instead of using it because he doesn't have control over himself. He is not so Krishna conscious. So point is this only that if we are Krishna conscious, we can use everything in Krishna service. If we are not that much Krishna conscious, then use only that much in Krishna service which you can safely handle. Which you cannot safely handle, don't use in Krishna service. Someone has weakness with money, he should not deal with the money so much because he will become more money conscious than Krishna conscious. So like that. So everything has its use in Krishna service, provided we are Krishna conscious. Otherwise, we should be restricted in using everything. Read now.
Those who are without knowledge of Krishna consciousness artificially try to avoid material objects, and as a result, although they desire liberation from material bondage, they do not attain to the perfect stage of renunciation.
Yeah. So only when you are Krishna conscious, so out of love for Krishna, you are not interested in material things, that is natural. Out of love for Krishna, you are not interested in material things, you are avoiding material things, that is natural. But if you don't have love for Krishna, you don't have knowledge of Krishna consciousness, and then you try to avoid material objects, that's artificial. So, avoiding material objects is necessary. But if you do it artificially, then it is not going to work for long. Because today you have avoided material objects artificially, tomorrow you will not be able to handle your mind and you will again get into all those material objects. So one should become lover of Krishna. One should be Krishna conscious. And then he avoids material objects, then he will be successful. because he has already found another object of attachment, that is Krishna. So then, if he avoids material objects, he will be successful. So, artificially, we should not renounce. Natural renunciation is acceptable, and that happens when we are Krishna conscious. Naturally, you are attracted to Krishna, you will not be attracted to material things. So, in this way, when we are naturally Krishna conscious and avoiding the objects, material objects, then truly we can attain liberation. Otherwise, we will be bound in this material world. So, being Krishna conscious is very necessary. Read.
On the other hand, a person on the on the other hand,
Ah,
a person in
you
Krishna
are missing
conscious,
previous statement.
their so-called renunciation is called falgu or less important.
Basically, his renunciation will not last long because he has not developed attachment to Krishna, and you are giving up material things, then you will feel very uncomfortable. It's like this: are you are away from this home and you don't have another home. It's difficult. So like that, you are not attached to Krishna and you are avoiding your attachment to material objects. Then what you will do? So that is falgu, artificial, less important. Read.
On the other hand, a person in Krishna consciousness knows how to use everything in the service of the Lord. Therefore, he does not become a victim of material
So
consciousness.
those who are not Krishna conscious, if they are using things in the service of Lord, they will be they will become victim of material consciousness. If you are Krishna conscious and then you are using things in Krishna service, then you will not become victim of material consciousness. Otherwise, we will become victim of material consciousness because you have not developed attachment to Krishna and you are dealing with the matter. Naturally, you will become material conscious. Read further.
For example, for an impersonalist, the Lord or the absolute being impersonal cannot eat, whereas an impersonalist tries to avoid good eatables. A devotee knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and that he eats all that is offered to him in devotion. So, after offering good eatables to the Lord, the devotee takes the remnants called prasadam.
Wait. So these impersonalists, their process to attain the Supreme Lord is very tough. Why it is tough? Because they are not develop attachment to Krishna and they are trying to avoid material objects. It becomes tough. It's like you don't have there are no vehicles to go to your destination and are you are you have given up your own vehicle also. Then it becomes very difficult to go to destination. No other vehicle is available in the society, in the city, and you have given up your own vehicle also. Then it will be very difficult to reach destination. So like this, that you have not developed attachment to Krishna and you are given up material objects also. Then it is very difficult. So impersonalists do like this. They have not developed attachment to Krishna and they are trying to avoid material objects. They don't eat good eatables purposefully because they want to avoid material world. So in this way, their process is very tough. But devotees, they offer best of the best to Krishna and accept prasadam of Krishna. So this makes devotee life very easy. So in this way, we should spiritualize everything and then accept it as prasad. Read further.
So after offering the good eatables to the Lord, the devotee takes the remnant, called prasadam. Thus everything becomes spiritualized, and there is no danger of a downfall.
Wait. So everything becomes spiritualized. So if we are using everything in Krishna service, then everything will be utilized. Everything is spiritualized. If we are not using everything in Krishna consciousness, something in another consciousness, then it is not spiritualized. And there is danger of fall. Only when everything is Krishna conscious, then only there is no danger. Otherwise, there is always a danger. So for devotees, there could be danger. But for non-devotees, there is always the danger. They are living in the dangerous situation. We may face dangerous situation sometime, only for a short time. But non-devotees, they are always facing. Read.
Uh, the devotee takes prasadam in Krishna consciousness, whereas the non-devotee rejects it as material. The impersonalist therefore cannot enjoy life due to the artificial renunciation, and for this reason, a slight agitation of the mind pulls him down again into the pool of material existence.
Wait. Yeah, so such impersonal, their path is very difficult. And so they cannot enjoy or they cannot be happy in their life because they are practicing artificial renunciation. They are giving up all material objects and no attachment to Krishna. So they will not be so happy. And anytime they can fall from their liberated state. Read.
It is said that such a soul, even though rising up to the point of liberation, falls down again due to his not having support in devotional service.
Yeah. If you are not attached to Krishna, then anywhere you go in the material world, those material objects will pull you down. So even if you go to heaven, after your quota of heavenly stay finishes, you have to come down on earth. Like that. So such liberation success is also not a very good success because people fall from that position also. Next verse. रागद्वेष विमुक्तस्तु विषयान् इन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति पानी हल्का करो
But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord.
Hmm. So previous verse is saying that you will attain the mercy of the Lord. Gratify ourselves. But no, by doing this only we will attain Lord's mercy and will be happy. So what we think should not be practiced. What scriptures thoughtfully say, that we should try to implement in our life. Then we will be happy. So scriptures are saying that control our senses with scriptural regulation. Then only we can receive Lord's mercy and be happy. Read further.
It is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall.
So the only way to control the senses is to properly control the senses is to engage senses in Lord's service. The only way to properly control the senses is to engage the senses in Lord's service. Otherwise, all other process will fail. It's just a matter of time. So only in Krishna service senses remain controlled. Read.
Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane, because of his being Krishna conscious, he has no attachment to the sensual activities.
Wait. For example, one may be living in a very palatial house. So he is on a very sensual plane, like Yudhishthir Maharaj. But because Yudhishthir Maharaj was fully Krishna conscious, he is a devotee, he was not engaged in sensual activities in spite of so much of opulence with him. He was simply absorbed in Krishna's service, that's all. So, in this way, yeah. So, he may be living in palatial house, but he is not in a sensual plane because he is engaged in Krishna's service, like Yudhishthir Maharaj or Parikshit Maharaj. So like that. So, on the other hand, if someone is not Krishna conscious, then living in such palatial house, so much luxury, naturally he will be carried away. He will become simply absorbed in material activities, sense objects like that. So, controlling or being Krishna conscious is more important, and that's how we can control our senses. Read.
The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. Therefore, he is transcendental to all attachments and
Yeah,
detachment.
so he doesn't bother about attachment, detachment in the material world. He doesn't like he doesn't like pollution, but because he is Krishna consciousness, he may not bother about it. Yes, he doesn't like pollution, but because he is Krishna consciousness, he is not bothered about it. Like that. So, and he may like something, he may like to to visit different gardens. So that is his attachment. But because he is Krishna conscious, he will not bother about this also. He will simply bother about pleasing Krishna. All other things of this world are secondary for him. So, in this way, a devotee is always concerned about Krishna's satisfaction, not his own satisfaction. And thus, he doesn't care about attachment and detachment which he may be experiencing. Read further.
If Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. And if Krishna does not want, he shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction.
Wait. So basically, it is saying that give top priority to Krishna. And the statement which Srila Prabhupada is making like this, that if Krishna wants, we will do undesirable things. And if Krishna doesn't want, we will not do something which people consider very right. So if Krishna wants, we are ready to do wrong. If Krishna doesn't want, we don't want to even do right. Understood? That much faith and dedication upon Krishna should be there. So that's how we can be Krishna conscious. Read further.
Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. The consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of being attached to the sensual platform.
Hmm. So devotee is very much dedicated to Krishna. Whatever Krishna wants, he will do even. Thus, he is completely directed by Krishna, and in this way, he keeps control over his body by Krishna's grace. So that's how one receives Lord's mercy and progress in Krishna consciousness. Next shloka. प्रसादे सर्व दुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्न चेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धि पर्यावतिष्ठते. Read.
For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established.
Hmm. See, if we are Krishna conscious, if we are devotee of Krishna, then we will not bothered about bodily disturbances or disturbances in the nature or disturbances in the community. So I said, the one who is Krishna conscious, he will not bother about these things. That doesn't mean that it is not going to come. Disturbances are going to come all the time. But the one who is devotee of Krishna, he will not bother about these disturbances. His botheration, his concern is only to serve Krishna. So we should not get carried away by others' power. So disturbance may be there, but he is not disturbed by those disturbances because he is absorbed in Krishna. Just like Prahlad, so much disturbances in his life. But he was absorbed in Krishna. He didn't bother about all these disturbances. Or Another example could be Ambarish Maharaj. So the first example I gave of Prahlad, another could be Ambarish. Ambarish, he was also like that, fully satisfied in devotion to Lord, and as far as material miseries are concerned, he would not bother about it. He simply bothered about devotion to Krishna. So in this way, one becomes free from misery. Miserable situation remains, but he becomes free from misery because he is bothered about Krishna, not bothered about his own personal things. So that much high degree of Krishna consciousness he attains that he is not bothered about material disturbances. नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयत शांतिर अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम.
One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace?
Yes. So a mind can be controlled only by the grace of Krishna. Arjuna says, I can control the wind but not mind. So really mind runs very fast, uncontrollably it may run very fast. So So such a mind can be controlled only by Krishna's grace and make our mind steady. So mind is uncontrollable, runs very fast, but can be controlled only by grace of Krishna. And when mind is controlled, then only you can be peaceful. And when you are peaceful, then only there is question of happiness. So mind control is possible only by service to Krishna. Read purport.
Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the fifth chapter that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, and that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace.
Wait. So when you are Krishna conscious, then your mind is steady. If you are not Krishna conscious, your mind will be running in different objects. So mind will not be steady if you are not Krishna conscious. If so mind becomes steady when it is devoted to Krishna. And when we are not devoted to Krishna, then it's not easy to control the mind because mind doesn't get controlled by austerity or charity or scriptural knowledge. Mind becomes controlled only by grace of Krishna, and that grace is received by devotional service to Krishna. So to be devotee of Krishna, one should understand that Krishna is the only enjoyer and offer everything in his service for his pleasure. Three things are mentioned for peace. Krishna is the only enjoyer, Krishna is the only master, proprietor, and Krishna is the only friend who remains always with us. So if we apply these three principles, then only there is question of peace. Otherwise, difficult. That Krishna is the only enjoyer, Krishna is the only proprietor, and Krishna is the only, yeah, Krishna is the only friend. Then only we can be peaceful. If any of this is missing, then we'll be disturbed. For example, if we know, if we do not know that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, then we will try to enjoy ourselves. And we cannot enjoy, so we will be disturbed. If we do not know that Krishna is the supreme proprietor, then also I try to get control over some things. And same thing happens when we think ourselves or when we do not understand Krishna as a supreme controller. We try to exercise our control. So if we understand these three principles that Krishna is the only enjoyer, Krishna is the only master, and Krishna is the only friend, then we can be truly peaceful. Read more.
Therefore, if one is not Krishna conscious, there cannot be a final goal for the mind.
Yes. Only when you are Krishna conscious, then you know that I should become devotee of Krishna. Krishna is my only shelter. I have to attain Krishna. Goal is very clear. But if we are not Krishna conscious, then mind is flickering from one material object to another material object, and the goal remains always hazy. Read.
Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. And when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace.
Yes. Disturbance is, yeah, here it is said disturbance is due to want of ultimate goal. Or I would say disturbance is due to want of any material object. Any material object. You want a, you want a, let's say, you want shoes. Nothing wrong about this desire that you want shoes. But if we become excessive attached to this desire more than being Krishna conscious, then surely we will be disturbed by this. Because you want shoes and you purchase the shoes and then you realize that it has some problem or it has stolen or you went to the shop, you didn't got the shoes which you wanted. Like that, so many things may happen. So whether you get the shoes or not get the shoes, disturbances will always be there. But if you understand that Krishna is the enjoyer, then also you may try to get shoes. And then also shoes may get stolen. But because you are Krishna conscious, you are not shoe conscious. The disturbance will not be to that degree because you are Krishna conscious. You are thinking of Krishna's pleasure more than what you need or what you desire. You are thinking of Krishna's spiritual world. So we will not be so much disturbed because we are Krishna conscious. Material attachment to material objects always causes more disturbances compared to attachment to Krishna, because material objects are temporary and it gives misery. Krishna, he is eternal and he doesn't give misery, he gives joy, happiness. So appears similar thing like attachment to material objects gives pain, attachment to Krishna gives joy. Both are attachments, but one is giving pain, another is giving joy. Because Krishna, he can give joy. Material objects, it cannot give joy for all the time because it is temporary. And matter means it gives misery because Krishna has said it so. So, like that. So, if we are devoted to Krishna and not much attached to the material object, surely we will be peaceful and happy. Read further.
Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life.
Yes. So basically, what we should understand is, I mean, again and again, same message is being spoken here. If we are Krishna conscious, if we are devoted to Krishna, Krishna is the one who can offer us joy because he is like that. On the other hand, material objects, they are going to give us misery, they are temporary because matter is like that. So only in relationship with Krishna can we be peaceful and happy. And if we are not related to Krishna, then we will be miserable in spite of making a show of peace. Means externally he is showing himself as peaceful, but because he is not Krishna conscious, he is disturbed internally. And that disturbance will reflect in different situation. So only in Krishna consciousness, only in Krishna service, only in devotion can true peace and happiness exist. Otherwise, it doesn't exist in materialistic life. Read further.
Krishna consciousness is a self manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna.
Hmm. Yes. So Krishna consciousness means being conscious of Krishna. Being conscious of Krishna means serving Krishna in devotion, thinking about his pleasure. And that's how we can be peaceful and happy. So this message should go so deeply into our existence and understanding that we should just, I mean, everyone wants peace and happiness, and thus we should be absorbed intensely 24 hours in Krishna consciousness. And do not bother about material objects more than necessary. That means do not bother about material objects more than it is required to keep body and soul together. That's all. Only to keep body and soul together, you acquire material objects to that degree, otherwise forget it. Just be Krishna conscious. And that's how we can be peaceful and happy. इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनोनुविधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावमिवाम्भसि. Read.
As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence.
Yes. So ideally, intelligence should control the mind. Just like driver should control the rope of the chariot. So similarly, ideally, intelligence should control the mind. But if intelligence is weak or driver is weak, then rope will take control over driver. That that means horses will go in different directions as per their choice, and driver has to simply follow behind. So ideally, intelligence should control over the rope of the mind, just like driver should control the rope. So if that is not there, then as I said, horses will pull the rope and it go in the direction of the horses. So in this analogy of the chariot, the five horses are compared to senses, which are tied together by the rope. Same is our situation also. All our senses are connected with the rope of mind. So if mind is focusing or rope is being controlled by the horses, then driver has to simply follow the horses. If rope is being controlled by the horses, then driver will have to simply follow the horses. Similarly, if mind is being controlled by the senses, the intelligence simply has to follow the mind. So this is what is said here. Even one of the roaming senses on which mind focuses. If mind is being carried away by the senses, when mind becomes carried away by the senses, when mind focuses on it. When horses carry the rope, when the rope is tied to the horse. Similarly, when mind is tied to the senses, that means mind is focusing on the senses. We also tie our mind to the senses by focusing our mind on that object. So when mind is tied to the senses, then senses will pull the mind, and intelligence will simply follow this mind. So this is what is said. One of the roaming senses on which mind focuses can carry away man's intelligence. So like that. So we have to keep good control over our mind by empowered intelligence. So I gave the example of horses pulling the rope of the chariot. The example given here is of a wind sweeping away a boat. So just like horses may pull the rope, similarly wind pulls the boat. Yeah, just like horses pull the rope or wind pulls the boat, senses pulls the mind. So we have to keep control over this rope of mind by strong intelligence. And how that strong intelligence comes? By Krishna consciousness, by Krishna's grace. Only by Krishna's grace, not by scriptural study, not by performing austerity, No, nothing in these words to strengthen the intelligence and control the mind. Only by Krishna's grace. Other things we will do, but it's ultimately by Krishna's grace that we can control our senses. So we'll read the purport in the next class. Okay. Thank you. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.